we didn't have a great start to the game, but I thought we adjusted and did a good job of being physical without fouling too much. 22 free throws is not a low number, but it could have been much higher. Our bench was really important in this game, both scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, and just bringing energy, intensity, and those kinds of things. So Toronto's a very hard team to play. We talked about Van Vliet before the game. He's a menace out there trying to figure out what to do with him. Makes threes, drives it, hits mid-range, gets other guys involved. He had a great game going, and finally missed a couple, down the stretch. So that was good, and we've just got to continue to try to build some momentum.
They scored 62 points in those final three quarters. You mentioned the adjustments, but what specifically did you see improve on the defensive end after the first quarter?
We just picked up our intensity. We were playing harder, playing more physically. We were, agitators instead of reactors, which is, you have to be in this league. And that's, that's the key. This has become a hard play league. It really has. There's not a lot of brother-in-law basketball out there where, you have a shot, I'll take a shot. It's not like that anymore, and not that it ever really was, but, the level of intensity from top to bottom in the league now is really great to see.
13 turnovers tonight, and that number was even a little lower for most of the game. To what do you attribute just the strong offensive effort and being able to keep those turnovers at a low number for a team that's pretty good at that?
Well, against teams like Toronto, Chicago, the Lakers, who are good at turning over, you got to play with aggression and discretion. You got to be aggressive, but not careful. Careful, is the wrong way for high-level athletes to play. But you can be aggressive and have discretion with your decisions, and that means making decisions on the floor, not getting caught in the air. Good shot selection, stuff like that. And for the most part, I don't know what the turnovers were per quarter. We had 2 or 3 or 4 maybe in the fourth, but we were doing a solid job with that, and that's got to be part of our identity. That's got to make us a team that people aren't going to love playing against.
Rick, we talked before the game about Caris. Did you feel like that's the best he's played in a little while? Yeah,
I do, and it's obvious that he's a very important part of our team. We've made some adjustments to get him in some more attacking situations. He responded, really, I thought, brilliantly tonight and made 3 out of 5 threes, which was huge. And I thought his defense was really, really good. He really sat down and played. And this is the most minutes he's played all year. But I talked to him before the game. He said he's feeling good. And everybody's going to, feel even better when they get going offensively and get on a bit of a roll. And he did that, and it was big for us.
Rick Keelan had 15 points for you guys off the bench, had some great defensive possessions on Pascal Siakam. How important was he tonight for you guys' success?
Yeah, I thought Martin and Craig both were a great tag team tonight. Keelan provided, some outside punch, some cutting. Craig provided physicality and some important offensive rebounds throughout the game. And those guys are really important to us. They when they bring that kind of intensity and play within themselves and play physical but solid defensively, without fouling, it's a game changer for us.
To piggyback off Keelan, I believe he had 11 in the second quarter, missed his first 3 shots, and then made his next 5.
Well, he's not one to get discouraged.
I was going to ask, like, just to stay, what
Yeah.
do you say about him?
Yeah, he and O'Shea Brissett came in yesterday morning, Thanksgiving morning, to work out. They were getting shots with Gennaro Pargo. And so, Keelan is an aggressive player by nature. He's scored over 2,000 points at Butler, a second all-time leading scorer or something like that. I mean, Ron Nora's always telling me all these Butler, milestones and stuff like that. So I've learned a little more about it than I probably would ask, but he knows him well. And this is a guy that a lot of people had written off coming into this year as a guy that could contribute, make a difference, And from the very beginning of September, when guys started filtering in, I really liked his game. He shoots the ball easy, physical, deceptively athletic, and he has an edge. He has an edge. In the Laker game, he got into some tough situations and didn't play the kind of game that we needed him to play in that game. Tonight, he turned it around 100%. He was solid on defense. I don't know if he committed a bad foul at any point. And he took the kind of shots that are his kind of shots. And ones that even a couple of the ones that missed, you say, that's a shot. That's a good shot for our team. And so, guys like that, Craig did the same thing tonight. When those guys are on point and doing things, within themselves, but in an aggressive way, that helps us become a better basketball team.
And then with Malcolm, I know you talked about his leadership. How much easier does it make the team, the offense? I think it was like the 5th straight game we had 5 guys double figures, when he's able to be kind of a chameleon where he can go from 28 to 11 but still have an impact, whether it's passing, shooting, defending, LeBron, things like that.
Well, he does so many things well for our team that you're right. He at times we need the scoring. At times we need the defensive matchup. Like, tonight in the second half, he guarded Siakam, who got off to a really fast start at the beginning of the game. We changed the matchup after halftime, and he helped slow him down. You've seen him over the last week or so guarding, some of the best players in the world, and guarded LeBron James a lot the other night. In Chicago, he's guarding DeRozan, and he has the ability with his strength to do that even against bigger players. Offensively, the rim pressure he applies is huge for us. His three-point shooting, he hit a huge one out of the right corner in the fourth quarter. We really needed it, and things were, the lead was down to 6 or 8 or whatever it was, and that was a big shot to get us back in it, back in control of the game. So, simply put, Malcolm Brogdon is a guy that does a little bit of everything for us, and he's got a good feel for what's needed at what time. Looking back to the games we had to play without him, it was extremely difficult.
Caris, what did you see as the biggest defensive improvements? It seemed like in that first quarter, Rick was pretty frustrated with what he was seeing out there, 35 points, and then from then on, 62 the rest of the way in those final 3.
I honestly think in that first quarter, first couple minutes, they were hitting some tough shots, pull-up threes, pull-up mid-range as well, and I feel like we were playing hard. We had some unlucky bounces on offensive rebounds as well, but we just stayed the course for a full 48 minutes, and they kind of wore down in the second half.
Caris, I know 9 and 12 is not where you want to be, but you've got a big home-heavy schedule coming up. Where is this team right now in its development?
Yeah, I feel like we're right there. We're close to a breakthrough. We feel like we should be on the other side of that, 12-8. But it's the NBA. It's a lot of 1-2 possession games that we'll definitely get on the back end and we'll learn from. But we're together right now, and we're getting better each and every game. So that's all you can ask for, especially going into this home stretch we have in December.
Caris, you're one of 7 guys tonight in double figures, and then Keelan had 11 by himself in the second quarter. How do you think he maybe imprinted this game or changed the game early in the first half?
I think defensively he put his imprint on the game, guarding those guys, Siakam, the young fella, Scotty Barnes. Keelan has a big body, and he used his body well. He defended those guys on the perimeter, and then when they got to spinning and doing their counter moves, he stayed in front of them pretty well. And then offensively, he did what Keelan does. He scored the ball, and he was efficient, and we needed him at that time. And, he came in and provided great minutes for us. And he's been doing that all year, so, we're going to need him to continue to do that.
I asked Rick this last game. He thought I was trying to get him fined. I'm not, I promise. But when it comes to Domantas and what he does on a nightly basis, do you think that he's, I don't know, not overlooked because he's been an all-star, but maybe not mentioned with certain guys? I mean, you look up and he maybe not be as glamorous or sexy, but then he has, like tonight, 23 and 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's I think if you ask opposing teams and opposing coaches, I don't think he'd be too underrated in their scouting reports and things like that. And he's definitely not underrated in our locker room. We know how important he is to our success and to our winning. So, he's an all-star, 2-time all-star for a reason. He's one of the most consistent guys, and like you said, it's not the most pretty thing, but it's efficient, and it's very necessary for us as a team. So we're going to need him to continue that.
Were you surprised at all to get 34 minutes? Did it feel like 34?
It honestly didn't feel like 34. I just looked. I think this is the most minutes I played since I've been back. So I felt good. The minutes felt great. My body feels good. So be important to continue the recovery and the treatment going into this back-to-back.
Rick was talking about how he kind of utilized you differently. Mm-hmm. What led to that, and what is your comfort level with doing more playmaking like you?
I think just, constant conversations, communications. It's a new coaching staff. And I'm still fairly new to playing with all of the starters. I think last year a lot of games, Myles was injured, Malcolm was injured. Sometimes it was just me and Domas out there playing with Justin maybe. So we're still growing our chemistry with all 5 of us out there. And that's who I am as a player. That's who I've always been. I've been a playmaker. I think it kind of gets overlooked. With the big scoring nights, people kind of just overlook the playmaking part of it. But, that's who I am. So going forward, I think, Malcolm definitely wants me to do that for sure. It makes his job a lot easier. So it's just constant communication between us.
Myles, at least statistically, things changed pretty drastically defensively for you guys after the first quarter.
Uh-huh.
What did you see as the biggest changes?
Well, first of all, I think they made a lot of tough shots in that first quarter. Heavily contested, but anytime you allow a team to get comfortable, those tough shots seem to fall, more often than not. So, we should have started the game better than we did as far as setting the tone defensively. But I think a team like Toronto, they come out and play hard every night, and that's when you're faced with that, you got to go out there and match that intensity, if not amplify it.
Myles, I know 9 and 12 is not where you want to be, but you got a heavy home schedule coming up. Where do you feel like this team is in its development right now?
We're definitely not a finished product, to say the least. I think I don't even think it's a matter of figuring each other out. I think it's just a matter of figuring out how to win. Winning's hard in this league, and it's not going to be the same night in and night out. So just finding ways to win is what's important. It doesn't matter. You look at the box score, it's a balanced score now. It doesn't matter who goes off in a sense. It's just a matter of playing the game the right way and doing whatever it takes to win.
Myles, along those lines, Rick has said repeatedly that the formula for you guys winning is going to be doing it collectively. Is this the type of box score that you look at that really seems to be the formula for success for you guys?
That's the best way to play, and it's fun for everybody this way. Everybody gets their touches, everybody's scoring the ball. But I think we've done a better job of that this year. I think times in the past it's not even so much selfish basketball. I think it's like I got to do it myself. You know, I think we've had that, you know, with some of our guys, and it's with the team as a whole. You know, sometimes, you know, guys just feel like they got to be the man in a sense, and I think we've done a better job this year of letting everybody be the man in a sense. Everybody comes in, everybody contributes in their in their own ways.
Speaking of guys that contribute, you know, Keelan came off the bench, had 11 in the second quarter. Guard Siakam had a great defensive play in the second half against Scotty Barnes. What have you seen from him just in his continued growth with this team?
Bro, Keelan's he's first of all, he's tenacious defensively. I mean, he wants to guard, you know, whoever the best guy is out there, and that's a mindset that I think is kind of rare. You know, guys sometimes they act like they're about it, but you know, Keelan's really about that. And offensively, I mean, he's one of the better scorers we have on this team. He just needed his opportunity, he needed a chance, and I'm glad we re-signed him. I've been playing against Keelan since high school, man. He hit a game winner on us in high school. And I remember like it was yesterday, and then obviously, you know, he knocked me out in the first round when he was at Butler, and I was at Texas. So like I know what he's capable of. I've seen it for a long time now, and now that he's finally getting his opportunity, it's dope to see it all come to fruition for him.
Have you forgiven him?
You know, I feel like at this stage you kind of have to, but that's my guy, man. I'm happy that he's out here just hooping, man. He deserves it.
Myles, you know how good this franchise was defensively for so many years. When you were here, you guys rank third defensively over your last 11 games. Does it feel like you're getting back to that kind of identity, that kind of level, your first 5 or so years of your career?
We still got work to do. Yeah, I think it's like you said, it's trending in a better direction, but you know, I think we have a lot of work to do to be a better defensive team, you know, which I've been a part of in the past. We're getting better, but you know, we're going to get there.
Efficient offensively tonight, but you did it in a way where you were able to take care of the ball as well, which had been a challenge in those previous games against Toronto. What's the key to finding that right mix of pace where you're playing fast enough that the offense can play well but not out of control and turning it over?
Yeah, we know they're a very scrappy team, you know, forcing turnovers, and that was an emphasis today, you know, and just making the right reads, you know, not trying to force anything. If it's not clear, not throwing the ball out, you know, and just trying to wind them down, wind down the clock. And I feel like we did a great job of that today.
You mentioned making the right reads. You had 7 guys in double figures tonight. How important is balance and sharing the ball for this team with so many weapons?
It's great. It's big, especially for us. You know, we have so many guys. We have a lot of talent. You know, a lot of guys can score. You know, and if we share the ball, you know, everyone's going to make the right decision. Everyone wants to put the ball in the basket. So that's big for us.
Domas, how did Keelan change this game with his big second quarter? I think he had 11 points. Obviously, he's always pretty stout defensively.
Yeah.
So what does he mean to this team, and how did he affect this game tonight?
He's big. You know, he brings an energy. We all want him to do well. You know, I feel like today he was big. He did a great job playing off the ball. You know, he's a 3-point specialist, can score. You know, but I feel like he did a great job cutting, getting open. You know, believing in our pace action, and that really got us going.
What was the difference tonight to withstanding their run at the end and kind of putting it to bed as opposed to kind of letting it slip away like you all did against the Lakers?
Just getting stops, working together, listening to the coverages, and then on offense, not turning it over and getting good shots, and then at least running the timeout and then hitting a good open shot in the last seconds.
The first game you guys played against Toronto, you kind of struggled to get involved because of the way they defended. What did you guys change, or what did you change to make it so you could be more effective tonight?
I feel like the last couple of games, we've been playing a bit more free, faster, so just slipping out of screens, getting big, trying to get offensive rebounds, just trying to have some kind of impact on the game to help the team out.
We're a quarter of the way through the season now. In what ways do you feel like you and this team have improved as the season has gone along?
We just have time. It's been 3 coaches in 3 years, so getting used to the system. The more games we play, the more time we spend with each other. With the new coaching staff, we build trust, and then the coaches start to learn us more. We start learning the system, and it just helps.
How's your right eye? What exactly happened there? Did you lose your contact?
Yeah, I got on that one pass to Myles in the corner of the 3. I got hit in the eye. Contact kind of went up there. Put another one in, had 2 contacts in. It was a big mess. Had to go back and just fix it up.